Hello and welcome to WOW's Operation Replays. This is your host, and we are bringing you Tirpitz. Tirpitz, one of the oldest battleships in the game. Again, the real main differences between Bismarck and Tirpitz is only in one thing. This hydroacoustic search is the only real main difference. They are basically the same health. For health, HP-wise, 69,300, 69,200 for Tirpitz. Same torpedo protection, nothing special. Gun-wise, 26 seconds, 16 seconds between shell switching, 36 seconds for base turn for 180 time. Shell dispersion, 273. Tirpitz has 275. Range is 21.2 for Tirpitz, or for Bismarck. Tirpitz has 21.5, so there's not much difference. And then we go to the AP damage and HE damage for the shells, all the same across the board. There's no difference in that, so you're not missing much. Again, let's go to Tirpitz. 21.5. Now I do have the increased, skill for Lucians that has the increased traverse time. So that's why it's 28 seconds or 29 seconds instead of 36 seconds. So pretty big difference. So if we're going to run Lucians and Ops, I recommend using that skill because that really helps a lot. But again, gun characteristics, the same. Only other main difference between the two is Tirpitz gets torpedoes at 6K range and 64 knots. Max damage, 14,000. Pretty decent torps if you want to YOLO something. AA is another big difference. Bismarck actually has really decent AA and will repel some carrier strikes. Oh, you're not going to be doing jack shit against carriers and Tirpitz. That's 6. You're not going to be doing nothing. I'm sorry. They're just going to farm you to death. And believe me, this guy knows it. First match I had in Tirpitz in a randoms, whereas I had RTS Lexington, and I was dead within 4 minutes from just him slaughtering me. I couldn't do nothing. So, not much. So let's go to maneuverability. 31 knots, 850 for turning circle, 16-second rudder shift. Now, this is where it again shifts. I run the rudder mod on Bismarck for 12.8, but everything else is the same. The reason why is that, and you want to run aiming systems instead of secondary, unless you're going to run it at ops. Because if you're going to run it in randoms, Tirpitz or Bismarck really needs to have a full survivability build and gun build. That's the only way you can run a Bismarck in randoms. If you run it at anything now, you're just going to get burned down. You need your main bread and butter are those guns. So you remember, tech ships, survivability, and concealment. Tirpitz, more fun. So keep that in mind. Exterior camo. Bismarck gets a ton of camo. This is my favorite, Unsinkable Sam Bismarck. Now let's see, is he with us today? He should be right around in here somewhere. If you get the Bismarck camo from the Unsinkable Sam camo from the Unsinkable Sam containers, you get this camo with Unsinkable Sam with a cat on the bow, and then you get little Unsinkable Sam that just walks around the deck. Let's see, oh, he's rolling on his back. He's putting a show on for you guys today. Oh, how cute. I love cats. But that is one of the cool little animations. And if you have the original Missouri with like Steven Seagal, Steven Seagal does show up on that one too. So that's a fun little animation. But for Tirpitz, this is where they really differ. Bismarck gets the standard tech, normal economic boost. Tirpitz, if you had this one camo before the rework, Tarsanstrik, you get a huge buff to your economic boost. Now, these are the same, 10% and 60%, but the Commander XP jumps to 125% and 200% free XP. So, big difference. So if I want to put like just gray boosters on, that jumps up. If I want to put red boosters on, it really jumps up. So that really, she becomes a free XP machine if you want to put big boosters on and farm with that 200%. Now that is also the same for the core Bayashi camos and the Alder camo for the organ. If you had those camos before the rework, you get a lot more bonuses out of that. So keep that in mind. If you had those before that, use them. If you use them on ops, you'll be getting a lot of credits, a lot of everything. Definitely worth it. If you have that camo and Tirpitz, or just have the camo but never picked up Tirpitz, pick up Tirpitz. Because you'll still get the boost from the camo, because you've had the camo before the rework. So you'll still get that boost. So just keep that in mind. Let's get into the replay version and I'll show you how Tirpitz works. Hello and welcome, this is WOW's Operation Replay, and today we have Tirpitz review. Tirpitz, one of the oldest battleships in the game and still one of the best. Now, I am divvied up with my friends Glenn and Doc. It's Doc Einstein. Now, Tirpitz, another ship I don't agree with Mountbatten on. He has a video called one of the worst ships you can pick up. And like it was a mistake. No. Tirpitz is an amazing ship.
Attack the enemy naval base from the specified directions.
She's just one of those ships that has, you know, a very peculiar playstyle. Now, Tirpitz was my first premium ship I ever bought. And I still remember my first match in her. It was on Two Brothers. And my first match was in the RTS days. So, Two Brothers, and imagine being in a Tirpitz with very little AA and RTS CVs. That was not fun. I was literally dead within the first, 5 minutes because the CV just kept focusing me over the island. It was not fun. But I learned and I got better at it. Now, the camo I have on Tirpitz is the Shamik camo. You can't get that camo no more. That was one you could only get in 2016, I believe. Yeah, 2016. Yeah, that was 2016. I remember it. It was when the Graf Spec first came out. It was a very unique camo that Tirpitz could only have. And the only way you can get that camo, I believe, anymore is in the Distant Voyages container. So, good luck. But you won't get the economic boost from it, so that's unfortunate. If you had it before the rework, Tirpitz is just a great ship now. You can, with a small booster, you can get, this thing becomes a free XP machine now. You can get a lot of free XP on this ship now, for very little. But, I was actually doing something right now, so that's why I wasn't really, I wasn't really doing much. So I was actually doing something else. That's why the ship wasn't moving much. So it's but this will show you how to properly play a secondary battleship on Killer Whale. As you see in most of my videos, you see like Atlanticos, Massachusetts, Odins, every other ship you can think of as a secondary ship will go straight into port. I'm going to show you how to play it to get the maximum amount of damage and really play the objective and still live. And how to angle and tank against, warships. Now, it's the Hinch Yang, Mr. Scary Uncle, Chappie, Wade, Gaskins, and Glenn and I going the southern way. Well, Doc is going to the north in his eye. Now, I do run Gucci Luncheons on this since it is a premium ship. So this is like a 19-point capture. So, don't... And Hinch Yang, I try to avoid him, but I push him. I didn't mean to do that. Now you can just tell by the smokestack, he's got an engine boost going. And I slam on my brakes. And I let him go by. Now, Glucinations, of course, his secondary perk kicks off at 100 secondaries, and we're well on our way to getting 100 secondaries really early. So, not bad. Because the faster you can get that perk, like on a Tirpitz or a Bismarck, activated, you know, the easier it's going to be. And you saw right there, just a few shells, I took 8k damage, almost 9k. That's the curse of the German battleship. You do take heavy amount of secondary damage. So, or AP damage. So that's literally the only downside of the Germans. This is the high AP damage that mimics a Citadel hit. Again, you know, sorry the replay's not. I was doing something also, so not my best. The guy's got to eat, right? Making videos and eating fruit. So, gotta find time to eat at some point. I did pick up that destroyed, and now I'm almost in range of the guys now. So my secondaries will get up those last few secondaries, and there's the AP shells coming in. I think that was his. Yeah, those are the front turret, and right there, just a few shells, 10,000 damage, almost 11,000 damage. You just see how the damage stacks up on this ship. So, knowing how to properly use it. I've already gone through, like, what, 2 heals already? Or I think that was my first heal. But you can go through your heals really fast. So you've got to be, you know, wary of that. And there's Lucians going off with the flare. So now my secondaries are really going to kick into effect. And the damage is really going to start racking in. Now I need to make the turn. But you see, I'm not going past this island. I'm staying on this island. And there's the main shells. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Again, another 11,000 damage. Again, you just see how you just get chunked in German battleships. Avoid getting chunked in German battleships, because that's what's going to hurt you the most. Now, our Zeiton did go in way deep. Again, not the best, but, you know, the Zeiton's one of those that I would honestly say you could do it. Because remember, Zeiton is the battle cruiser line. So it's faster than the German battleships, especially if you put Brisk on. So remember that. You're going to have a lot of speed to get back in and out. But the Scharnhorst battle cruiser kind of goes in a little too deep. And I was honestly expecting Glenn to come out. And the only one with me is the Chappie, so it's like, well, fudge. So I'm the only one going for really this objective, which is unfortunate. So, of course, you know that 2 DDs and Nuremberg and 2 Foos will spawn here. So, and I've still got 4 heals, so I've still got plenty of ability to heal and tank. But you usually want to be heading in this area to the evac zone or to the reinforcements at 12 minutes if they spawn, or like now they spawned early. So you have to be in that position to take advantage of that. And I should have my guns pointed to the left, but it just took me a while to think. Again, when you get what you're eating and everything, you start getting kind of distracted. So it's not one of my best, but I still do pretty good gameplay. So I was thinking, you know, I was going to go for the Fuso, but then I decided, you know, I need to wait. Now the Chappie, and I know those things are not a huge turning circle, but I know he could make it if he had turns sharper. So I really need his help, but I just like, I'm going to keep pushing, and then I decide later, like pretty soon, that I can't Dude, I can't push. I have to stay, And then I was like, okay, now I gotta go in reverse. I can't do this. Because I wouldn't recommend pushing these these destroyers and battleships. Can it be done? Oh, absolutely. But I still wouldn't recommend it, honestly. Now, the Chappie does pick up. I should have had that kill. If I had my guns turned sooner, I would have had that kill. That's my bad. Whatever. I still did a decent amount of damage. I'm up to, 60,000, 76,000 and climbing. So, the damage stacks up really good with the Luchans, and then when you get the visibility perk after 3 spot ribbons, you get that little bit of health. So, Luchans really does start to pay off. And see, I put everything on the Nuremberg because those corpses are going to kill me. I pop my spotter plane, so my secondaries will spot him. Again, like, the Chappie could have been out sooner, the Scharnhorst could have been out sooner. A lot of ships that went in way too deep. So I have to literally tank a Fuso and multiple ships while I wait for reinforcements to come. Now I lose a secondary battery here. That's unfortunate. I'm trying to shoot for his bow so I can go right through it. I'm just not getting a good salvo. And I get lucky because on most ships, the Fuso would have chunked you really badly, but the aim was just not with him today, so I got real lucky. And I pick up the Nuremberg, so that's great. My only torp threat's gone. Henshang's dropped Deepwater Corpse. He did a pretty good drop, but for some reason they just didn't kill him for some reason. Maybe he did. Maybe he launched them way too soon, but he honestly should have had it. I don't know what happened, but I do pick up the Fuso. So 131,000 damage, not bad, not horrendous. Now I do start now. I finally turn my guns the right way because at this point I'm like, gotta be attentive. I got my heal up. I'm going in. If you're gonna make this kind of push at the very end on Duno, I recommend being at least half health to 2/3 health and have a decent amount of heal still. Like I have maybe 1 heal after this. That's still good enough to keep me alive. I can at least have the damage to heal back. I don't now see my heal won't repair much, so I have to use my last 2 spare ones. My spot ribbon goes off, so I do get a little bit more health going into this. So that's what's really great.
Reconnaissance reporting. The 3rd enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
Now my left side is going off on the Gade, my right side is going off on the Aoba, so the secondaries are up to just ticking up now. And I didn't realize I need to start slightly angling in better because I am getting chunked by the Fuso. Fortunately, the Aoba shoots AP, so I know I have to keep the fire going because I want that AB to stick. Because I can bounce that 206mm, 210mm secondaries. I did pick up the Gade.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
Now the battleships are just bouncing my shells now, so I'm pretty lucky. I get my torps ready. And I try to aim up right where Citadel is, but I don't get lucky. But still, 50,000 damage. Now, I'm not going to get the Fuso kill. That's unfortunate. because Scharnhorst gets it, which is kind of stinky. But it's okay. I'm still alive, and I still got plenty of health. I do pick up that kill. So, 234,000 damage. That is how you push a second wave in a battleship. You want to play very conservatively, but also maintain your health, but still help. You don't have to go all the way into the port to get good damage. Just remember that. You never have to go all the way in. Right now, the New Orleans dies a torp, so that's unfortunate. And now I realize I'm just going to go for the evac zone now. Because there's really no point. I'm not staying longer. Again, I should have had my guns, but I just wasn't really truly attentive this match. But it's okay. It happens. I should have had my guns pointed there. Okay.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Reconnaissance reporting. The 4th enemy
Now I do drop torps thinking, okay, maybe I can get lucky. I aim ahead, so they get lucky. He is going down 3 minutes. I do pick up that kill. So, and I would have had him with torps too, if he hadn't lost all of his health, which is the sad part. Because my torps are right on target. But, again, in damage, 246,000. Not pretty respectable. 600 secondary hits, 6 kills. Not a lot of main battery hits, but still pretty decent. I mean, yeah, the two guys up on top died, so that's unfortunate. And the Hin Xiang died. It's unfortunate again, but, you know, we still managed to win. And we got 5 stars. So that's impressive and worth it. So still a good match.